If you're the same artist as you were a year ago, you're probably not a great artist. It's through being willing to let go of the old and experiment with something new that you truly can grow. I'm going to be sharing my process with you guys in this video, and we'll be experimenting with resin for the first time. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting to find out. So about a year ago, I decided to let go of some of my old art that I've done in the past, and then see how I can recycle it into a new piece of art, which started me on this path to experimenting with collage work. So here we have a 30 by 40, the first piece in the series. This one took about 36 hours to create, and I destroyed about 18 paintings to make this one. And then this is my second piece. This one took longer. It's smaller. It's a 16 by 20, which took 48 hours to make because of all the little details. And finally, my third piece is this Jesus one I've done, and it took about 22 hours, also 16 by 20. A few weeks ago, I asked you guys if I should add resin to my collage art, and half of you guys said I should, and half said I should leave it as it is. And so I'm gonna actually test it out. So I'm gonna make a completely new piece and start fresh and see if this will work for what I'm doing. Before I start working, I decide which size canvas I want to work on. And usually when I look for canvases, I make sure that all the corners are straight. Sometimes the wood could be crooked and off, and so then this is another way to test, pushing the sides of the corners, moving it on the flat surface to see if it's flat. For this project, I chose a 14 by 18 studio canvas, and now I'm adjusting my easel to make sure the canvas sits nice and firm. Usually on the first day, I like to prep everything, and so I'm drawing my idea down, and once I'm happy with that, I will go ahead and use a 30 by 40 canvas as a table. It just gives me more space. So these here are paintings I've done in the past, and by now I probably caught about 27 pieces, and I organized them in color. So I'll use super glue here for this project, and I need a lot of it. But you could see I organized all the browns and the darks, blacks, and then these are like the orange, red, kind of warm colors, and then I got the green colors and the blue colors. I spent a lot of time, organizing there. And so now I needed some more color to my drawing, right? I want it to be more like fall colors, and so I'm gonna use this painting I did several months ago. I'm gonna cut it up here into pieces and then also organize the little pieces. It's nice to have everything prepared, because the first collage piece I did, it was a mess because I didn't really prepare anything. I didn't know how the process would go. But now this is my fourth piece I'm doing. It's making it so much easier to find the colors and have everything clean and organized. As I was studying my painting, I realized I needed more of fall colors. So I was gonna create another painting. And I do this only if I really need a certain shade of colors. I try to keep it more original from my past paintings, but sometimes you don't get the right color, or to make it your paintings pop, right? So I'm gonna actually do the whole process, paint, and I'll show you here how I do this. So it is actually a painting. I'm trying to create colors that would match my current piece I'm working on for the background forest. I always say this, but it's because I believe it's important. I like to start from the furthest distance and work up to whatever's closest to me. That's why I started with the background trees, adding the fall color kind of branches and all the leaves and things like that. So right now I'm creating a base blend real quick, and then once it dries, then I'm using an artist sponge. I'll use that to kind of create this cool effect to make it look like leaves and branches, and you'll see as we watch here. So I'm using a dry blending brush to get that smooth blend, and I used a little bit of water the first time with acrylics to lay out all my colors quickly. Then I use a dry blending brush to blend. And I have several videos here on YouTube showing you how I blend, so if you're interested in learning that, there's several videos. I hope that will help you. But now you saw I'm using a artist sponge here, and I'm just gonna dab everywhere lightly to create a cool effect. So we'll take some time doing that. And by the way, I was inspired to create this piece during the summer. We visited my family in Washington, and we took a road trip from Seattle to Eastern Washington to go camping with family. And I was inspired by the drive and the view. Hi, Summer Cheek. Hey. Alright, my friends, I'm gonna spend some time with my family, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna have some breakfast and coffee, and I'm gonna continue where I left off. So I'm gonna slice this painting up and cut it into pieces and organize the colors and continue. Good morning. It is day 3 in the process, and my son barely woke up. He still isn't sure where he's at. I had a little time with him before getting back to my studio. It has been a rainy morning, and it's actually kind of nice, relaxing to hear the sound of rain. We live up in the mountains in Puerto Rico, and I'm just thankful for God's beautiful creation. After work, we went to the park to take a nice walk and get a little stretch because, you know, when you're working in the studio, you are sitting and not moving much, so we try to do this at least a couple times a week. Always a good time with family. Now it's getting late and time to put my son to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, and here we go again. Also, I found this cool tool which helped a lot cutting out the little parts and trying to glue those. And I'd always get super glue in my fingers, which took hours to try to clean out at the end of the day. So this tool really helped a lot. So here I needed some more color for the car, and I wanted the car to be more like grayish. By the way, sometimes mistakes happen. Here I made a mistake. I didn't like those, so I had to rip it out, which was, it's not fun, but it happens. Overall, today has been a productive day, and I'm happy where it's going. Good morning. What are you making here?
Scones.
All right.
Gotta fuel my husband for this project.
Okay. The project is almost done. All I have to do is add resin.
Nice.
Me and Sanochik are waiting for our scones.
Can't wait to see it.
Look at those. Do you like scones? Let me know in the comments. I had 2 of these, and I was just very happy that the painting's done. And now I have to clean up the mess here and organize my colors, put them back in the bags. And this is the finished painting here, all done. And now I'm gonna prep and get ready for resin. Good morning, everyone. It's a new day, and I'm about to add resin. I had to use this dehumidifier because we live in Puerto Rico and it could get humid here, and it says you don't want it to be too humid because it won't dry well. So last night I prepped everything and got it all ready so it could be easier, and I read all the rules. So you need some kind of stir stick, and then I'm using 2 plastic cups. I measured them exactly the same because you want the ratio to be 50-50, the hardener and the resin. And you want to pour the hardener first, that's what it says, and then pour the resin into a new cup, and I'm using this red one. And I use this level to make sure my painting is flat and leveled. And I'm going to use this heat gun. It says to be, a couple inches, 2 to 3, 4 inches away from the painting. So here I'm pouring hardener first, and then I'll pour resin next. Then I'll pour the hardener first into the red cup, and then I'll pour the resin on top. Once that's done, I will use a stick and slowly start in the middle. That's what it says in the book, and then gradually make the stir bigger. And it says to do that for 5 minutes. Alrighty, here goes. It's all or nothing. Pouring the first layer. We'll see how that does, because this is, all textured and bumpy, and also the resin can go through the cracks, so this is going to be interesting to see how it's going to turn out. I was very nervous about this because the whole bubbles situation, I don't know how that's going to go. Anyways, I'm using a stick here to try to level everything out, make sure the resin is evenly spread. I started seeing bubbles, so I used a heat gun, and I just kept using it and moving the resin around because it wasn't evenly spread, and it was just, I spent way too long here, and I think I made a mistake of using the heat gun way too long. It says you have 40-minute working time, but I overdid it. I lost track of time, and so the resin started to get hardened, and I kept using the heat gun thinking that would fix it, but I actually created more bubbles, which was unfortunate, so I was sad about that. Shucks. Gotta do it again. Well, it was a rough day, but I learned a lot, and now it's time to celebrate my wife's birthday. Our friends threw a little surprise birthday party for her.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andrea. Happy birthday to you.
After the party, I decided to correct my mistakes. It was dry enough. It's been like 6 to 7 hours. So now I'm just using sandpaper to kind of scratch out those bumps and and I realized this was really taking a long time. So I used an X-Acto knife, which helped a lot to carve out all the bubbles. You could see there was many of them on this first layer. Everything's now prepped for tomorrow, and hopefully the second layer will be a lot better. It is late, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's a new day, and I'm pumped and ready to add another layer, so let's go. I'm gonna go straight to it. I feel like the second layer is going a lot smoother, which I'm happy about. I was able to fix most of the bubbles and make it look a little bit more smoother. To keep the dust away, I'm going to use a couple of these canvas frames that fit perfectly around my painting. And then I'm going to use a tack to get all the dust particles and things like that and let it sit overnight. A new day to improve. So I'm sanding again because I didn't like the second layer. It wasn't fully flat and also there were some bubbles. So I'm going to add the third layer, and this time I'm going to do something different. So I read in the user guide that if you see bubbles, you can boil some water and put the cup in there for a few minutes. Then the resin will become more watery and the bubbles will disappear. So just by doing that, it really changed the game for me. Well, good morning. Yes, I had to add one more layer, so I'm gonna let that sit, and this is how much resin I got left. This is Gamvar gloss, and some of you guys said that I should just varnish it, so I'm gonna test this out on my other collage work and see how that looks. Good morning. I'm feeling great. It is a beautiful day, so let's go check out and see how the painting turned out.
To add another coat because there's a tiny little ripple here, but you can literally cannot see anything. It looks perfect.
She thinks
I think he's being too picky.
I think it needs one more coat.
Do you guys think it needs another coat?
Yeah, let me know in the comments. There's a little bit, as you see when I move, you could kind of see, it's not that bad, but a little like bump there. I feel like if I had one more coat, it would be...
I literally can't even see anything.
Here, watch. Let me show you.
I cannot see
See, if you go down,
here, let me
hold it like this, yeah. See, it's perfect here. It turned out good after 4 layers, but then you go right there, that little area right in here. You see that? That's not, I mean, it's not that visible, but to me, I feel like I've been focusing so much on this.
No, I think it's
this is definitely the best pour. I also there's no dust.
But barely. I think it looks so nice.
Yeah.
I liked it, like it's glass, but you can still see the texture.
So I decided to do one more pour. I know it might be too much, but I think that this is a good practice piece, and with each layer I do, I am getting better and better. I'm noticing. So it's gonna be good for me. Let's do this, you know. So after I added my 5th layer, I went outside to take out this branch. It was really bothering me. And then we're gonna go out with family and get some burgers because we are hungry. And here we are. So I haven't looked at it, and I hope this is the last pour. So let's have a look together, and we hope that this one's it, because if it's not, I'm gonna have to order some more resin and add a 6th layer, perhaps 7th, 10th. No, I don't want to do that. It's good enough. Let's have a look. Ooh, look at that. That looks much better. You know, when I poured the first layer, I was so frustrated and unhappy, but I still pushed forward and was able to figure it out. So don't give up and keep going. And now it's time to clean my mess. This piece was pretty heavy, so I decided to measure it and see how much it would weigh, and it was 3.7 pounds. By the way, this was Yanvar gloss varnish that I did a couple days ago. You could see the shine here. I like how this turned out as well. Here's the resin piece. I don't know, I like them both. Of course, resin takes a little more effort, but they both look pretty cool in their own way. Which one do you guys like best? Let me know in the comments. Resin or varnish? This was the first time using resin in my collage art, and I learned so much, which I'm grateful for. There was a lot of ups and downs, but the most important thing is that I experimented, I learned something new, and I had fun. And that's how you grow as an artist. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. All I have to say right now is takutosh.